In this thread, shit employers do.
Oh, and me and Megan have both worked for terrible employers.
Yeah.
Megan's also worked for her dad for a number of years. So, Megan's dad might get called out in this video.
Yeah, look at Trevor.
Yeah, let's just get into this one, will we?
I got hired at a popular grocery store in high school. They didn't even give me a shirt or a hat, even though it was required for my job. I had to knock on the manager's door to ask for one, only to be interrogated about my identity because they never gave me an ID badge either.
Also, every fucking shitty minimum wage job is like that. The amount of bureaucracy involved in even like the most bullshit jobs, nothing gets done.
Nothing gets done, and you see training in minimum wage jobs.
Oh yeah,
my god!
You know what?
You get shoved in the deep end, and you're expected to know what you're doing, even though like you're 16.
Yeah.
You've still got like the umbilical cord attached to your man,
yeah.
And they're expect you to know what to do. And it's like,
yeah. I'm gonna put it out here, but I've never met a 16-year-old that's good at any job.
That's capable of anything. To be honest.
I've worked.
They're all lanky and spotty and sweaty.
Yeah, and always like.
Yeah.
Like, trust me, I know you guys are awkward. I was very awkward at 16.
Everybody was awkward at 16.
I'm still pretty awkward,
Yeah,
but I'm working with it a lot better. A good one for me was, I remember, I started working when I just turned 17 actually. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll say I was 16 for a week. But so what happened was, police was always understaffed, so I didn't even get like an actual training day.
Yeah.
They just kind of said, yep, show up, there's a uniform, come in at that time. I went in and I was just kind of left to my own devices. Mm-hmm. I was told, like, right, go ahead, wash the dishes. Mm-hmm. So I just went ahead and washed the dishes, but I was there from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And I only did the dishes in that hour. I didn't know I had to, you have to actually clean the rest of the kitchen.
Yeah.
No one ever said
Nobody
that to me.
told you.
And the chefs are just giving me dirty looks the entire time. Yeah. It's like, they could have...
Well, what am I meant to do?
They could have just said, oh yeah, by James, come on over, do the bins here, you need to do the pass.
How long does it take to say that?
But
doesn't take that much effort.
They like chefs already hate themselves enough, so they don't have time to shout out the stupid wee spastic 16-year-old that they got in that's probably going to be gone in like a week or two.
Yeah.
Because the turnover rate's that fucking insane.
Yeah.
But let's get into this thread, will we? Let's just do this one. We've all worked there before, haven't we?
Let's hire more entry-level employees than we needed via a staffing company. Sure, we interview them, and then tell the staffing company who we want them to employ. But we're not actually the employer. No. You can't get the same benefits we provided to the person we hired around the same time as you started working here. We never hired you. What? It's not because his mom and dad work here. It's based on him putting in the extra mile. Bullshit.
Yes. There was a point in my old job where they were so desperately understaffed that they had to hire in agency workers, and the agency workers were getting like 3 times the wage of the people that had been working there for years. And lo and behold, a lot of the chefs ended up just quitting, joining that agency, and then coming back. Yeah. I'm not making that up.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Why wouldn't you?
Why would you work for a shitty company that can fuck you over at any time, where you can work for an agency, get paid 3 times the amount,
and work what hours you want?
Yeah, exactly. Now, you're not guaranteed any work, but I'm telling you, at that time and place, they did not have any staff, and they had a reputation of being shit employers, so no one was going near them.
I know, it was the same with me. Whenever I was working in care, there was one point where they were ridiculously understaffed, and that was the time whenever I was working like 70 hours a week.
Oh yeah,
easily. And I was up at 6 in the morning, and I didn't get home until like 11:45 at night. And then they brought in agency staff to try and cover. I was at the time, I think, getting paid like $8.70 an hour or something. The agency staff were coming in and getting paid £14 an hour.
Oh yeah.
£14, and they done half the work that what I done.
By the way, over here that's considered a very good wage to Americans. You're like, poverty, but yeah, we're Europars, so don't take any of the wage.
And this was like 6 years ago.
Yeah, so it was different back then,
Honestly, when I was younger, I noticed this shit and just gambled my career on it. I was in a shitty manufacturing job at the time. I was 20, living with my parents, and had 0 education. When it came time for my probation removal meeting after 3 months, I just leveraged the fuck out of what I could do. I noticed the average age of workers there were late 40s to mid 50s. I explained to them that if you keep shitting on younger guys with shitty pay, they'll walk. myself included, and be left with shit when older guys die.
That sounds like 90% of jobs out
Yeah,
there.
100%. They called in my department supervisor, department manager, and a couple of corporals. I continued to explain to them that no one wants to work here. The average employee turnover rate was over 70% for people under 30. A stat I got by sweet-talking some HR girls. Ooh, you're playing with fire there.
I know, you don't fuck with the HR staff.
No. Why are always HR girls the bitchiest fuckers you've ever met in your life?
Yeah, they are the bean. I fucking despise HR staff. Honestly,
I remember sitting in a room with an HR staff whenever I was in care, and I stared her down to no end that she got up and left the room because she felt uncomfortable.
Honestly, fuck HR staff, that's all I'm saying. Like, sexual harassment in the workplace be damned if I say. But yeah, honestly, I feel like a lot of companies are like this, severely, and a lot of people are like, kids these days, they just want...
they don't give fucking kids a chance.
Yeah.
Kids need to make money too, for fuck's sake.
But they're very...
And then they complain whenever they don't
work. These days they're entitled, they want their X, Y, and Z.
They complain whenever they're not working.
Yeah.
Because they're not given a chance, they can't get a job, even a corner shop or... Yeah. Whatever.
Honestly, like, see, whenever me and Megan...
I've been working since I was 12 years old in a chippy.
Like, for me and Megan, I'm not even making this up, especially for being Europergs. Whenever we first moved into this house, both of us would have been better off if we had both quit our jobs and went on benefits or went on the dole, and we would have actually had more disposable income because the wages that we were getting paid to what you would get for unemployment for our age group. Why would you bother?
Well, I know.
It's such
it's
such a broken system though that should be part of it. The way I view it is, yeah, we do need a safety net for people, but people that are working should be able to reap the benefits of working.
Yeah. Nearly got fired, but explained to them that this was a NAFTA complaint plant with exclusive deals with Tesla. Tesla was barely even a blip at this time. GM and Ford for EVs. What would investors say if these guys got caught unable to meet production numbers because overtime hours were way beyond what was feasible for this age group? 25 plus hours a week. 25...
No, that's on overtime, so it is.
Oh.
Lucky if you get fucking paid overtime.
I know. Anyways, long story short, I basically threatened to take these numbers to hedge fund manager and I made it up. The local union automotive workers if I didn't get my way. Within my first year, I was making 85k a year as a finishing supervisor on salary. My vacation was me calling in sick 4 weeks a year with pay. Within another year, our turnover rate got too high. Too many people retired and we lost a lot of contracts to foreign labour and ultimately lost the plant. These people don't care about a year or a decade from now. They care about tomorrow. Leverage your company's weaknesses. Threaten to cripple them tomorrow. Take the money and start building up another job somewhere else. If you can do that, fucking do it.
I do feel like his story ended with, and then everyone got up and clapped.
Yes.
If I be completely frank. However, it is, I think what he's aiming at and what he's trying to convey is most definitely true. Also, I do think anyone and everyone, you should be working on something. Like, okay, a lot of you guys are into role-playing games. Why not work on a bit of homebrew on the side?
Yeah.
Maybe write a campaign, maybe write a story, try and, format it, maybe get some artwork. You can do that on the cheap. Maybe try and put it out there on the internet. Maybe do... I do feel like everyone should be at least try and, look, if it's something you're really interested in, if it's something you're passionate about, why not try and incorporate that and make some money on the side? Artists do it, make it with producing music. And it's with access to the internet. Role-playing games is no different, I feel like, at this point. Bear in mind, you could get yourself a 3D printer. Now, you won't be profitable immediately, but, over the course of 6 months, a year, 2 years, you know what I mean? It's these types of small things that I feel like make the big difference.
Yeah.
Especially with quality of life, and the money that you make doing it, you're actually just happier, I find. It's much more satisfactory.
I quit the shittiest job I ever had just before the pandemic happened because my manager was a gaslighting psycho bitch baby boomer.
I knew this woman.
Yeah, so did I. I just found out this week that the CEO demoted her to rank and file employee, which is something that almost never happens in my country. But she was just that toxic and above all else, useless. She has no work history outside of that company, so she has nowhere else to go and her career is in ruins. I can actually feel my hairline recovering, bros. I can actually feel my soul re-knitting itself. This is what it's like to feel the rain in Shawshank Redemption.
I do know what it feels like to feel the rain in Shawshank Redemption. I've experienced it, and
when she got sacked?
Yes,
yeah.
It was. Oh my god, it was beautiful. I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced, like, you know...
Remember, was it her who called HR on you and said that you were smoking dope, but you were just smoking a rolly cigarette?
Yeah, no, that wasn't her. That was a different one.
Was it not?
Yes,
You get called in for a meeting, like, are you smoking dope or marijuana in work? And you're like,
no, I smoke own tobacco. Over 80% of the staff also smoke own tobacco.
What are you on about?
I'm not like.
I remember you rang me and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Either way, I do feel like, let's be serious, a good 80% of middle-aged women in jobs, I feel like, are absolutely fucking useless.
Yeah,
I feel like they are there in the office to fill quotas, and they just dither about.
Yeah.
Honestly. I don't feel like that for younger, like, especially women from, let's say, I think you only start getting good at your job when you're like 21 to like 25.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, to about like the mid-30s point, but then any woman I find over the age of like 45 just like, don't like her.
Yeah.
They just kind of dither about. Either they become the biggest bitches you've ever met, or they're just fucking useless.
Yeah.
And you can't rely on them to get anything done.
Hey guys, do you like models in your tabletop role-playing games? 'Cause we do too. Do you like having big bitty waifus on your table? 'Cause we do too. We got human biddies, we got lizard biddies, we got orc biddies, oni biddies, cat bussies. We've got everything you want at neckbeardia.co.uk.
Check the links down below, it helps us out a lot.
Sorry for interrupting the video, let's get on with the story. I was working at one of the many sort centres Amazon had.
It wouldn't be one of these videos if you didn't have an Amazon
worker, I know. It was deep in peak and I was working outside of a major city. I was normally someone who had a pretty high scan rate and I always did my work. Even if some of the guys on the floor who had rank over me gave me heat for scanning while on the line. But despite some of the heat I used to get, for whatever reason, it made me feel good knowing that I was the only one doing any true amount of work within my capacity. I felt really good about having a high scan rate despite only being there for a few months, but still no real rank that I fed myself some bullshit that I was somewhat untouchable, or at least given the better end of the stick whenever it came to managers or whoever the fuck. They never remembered my name, ordered me around. On one of the last horrible days before I walked out of the plant, I was pulled aside from one line I was on and I was given a choice. To either go on a super clogged up line that went all the way to the launcher and every pod was flooded with packages, or go handle the XL packages that are typically £300 or more. I obviously did the clogged line, but while I was getting my rate up and did my absolute best to try and clean up everywhere on the stretch of the line, while packages are still coming down, I'm then pulled aside and told that I'm going over to the XL package. I've been over at XL numerous times while I was there, and at the time, I wasn't cut out for all that. I refused to go over to the XL packages, citing that it's terrible everywhere, and that I was told to handle any clogs I see in any part of the plant's lines. The manager then tries to chew me out, telling me that I'm some lazy sack of shit and that I'm a horrible excuse for a real man because I don't want to do XL packages. That's when I go completely apeshit, asking this cunt if she knows who she's talking to, and bossing around like this. That I'm the one who's single-handedly carrying the shithole of a plant. The bare minimum for scan rate of the line in order for managers to not give you shit was 180. That's 180 packages per hour. On average, I was well above 750. And on this particular day, I was around 900. I point my scanner to her. What are you going to do?
Zap! Phasers to stun!
I point my scanner to her. I then showed her how horrible the next two clogs I have to deal with are, and then tell her to compare this rate to fucking 16, which is the absolute maximum I've ever hit while doing XL, and all the times I've been chewed out by idiotic management who are never actually on the floor and do more lounging around on finishing pallets than they do actually doing their jobs. I'm then called over to the intercom 10 minutes later and I'm chewed out by one of the bosses until I just straight up cut him off, tell him to fuck off, and that he's ruined my rate for absolutely nothing, and that I have to do work. This was essentially 2 days before I just decided one shift to walk out and never look back. You didn't walk out then?
But it's, honestly, you should think about it before you walk out.
Oh, yeah. Fuck managers who never give you any credit or acknowledgement for exceeding at your job and only ever want to move ranks if it's a buddy they suck off in the parking lot during the middle of the long shift.
Honestly,
that's the thing. You can work for a company or a job for 40, 50, 60 years if you have to, and if you leave or retire or, God forbid, you fall ill, they don't give a shit.
No, they don't.
They don't give a shit. They'll just fill your place.
Yeah, you are a number.
Don't put your effort, don't put your life, and don't hold your life over this job because they don't care about you. Don't care about them. And also, don't hold your expectations high because then they'll expect more work from you. Go in and do a mediocre job at a mediocre workplace.
No, don't do a mediocre. What I would say is, I've seen a lot of people
get paid and go home.
I've seen a lot of people do like dead end shitty jobs, and because they come in and they do an amazing one, they are trapped there. It's
because they don't want to move because they're too good at that.
The turnover rate is so high,
and then you're going to be the one stuck training all the fuckers coming in.
Yeah, I was stuck in that position. I was stuck in I was doing the same job for 7 years, which was unheard of, and it was really dead end work. And it got to the point where they offered me, it's like, oh, do you want to be a supervisor? And it's like, no. No. I've seen it. You get an extra £15 a week, and the amount of bullshit and the amount of overtime, it's so not worth it.
And you didn't get paid for it?
No, you don't. You didn't. The way I look at it is, don't let your health decline, and don't get all wind up, and don't let a shitty minimum wage fuck your day up and fuck your life up. That's why I left care.
I was working that many hours. I was coming home at like 11:45 at night. I was drinking a half bottle of vodka to be able to sleep. And then I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning doing it all over again. And I was getting into arguments with James, getting into arguments with my mum. I just didn't want to see my friends. I didn't want to do anything because the hours, the office, everything just fucked with me.
Oh yeah.
And in the end, I just walked out. I gave him my resignation letter, and I didn't even do.
No, you just left.
I just left.
Yeah, and honestly,
because I was, and it's the best decision I ever made.
You know, the best thing is the same company that she works for now are consistently advertising over the radio. Like, you'd hear it on the car, and if you're advertising over radio, or if they do jobs fairs, you know that the turnover rate for that company is absolutely fucking atrocious. Yeah. I'm not saying now. The problem I've got is companies need to make money. That's part and parcel.
The only reason why they make money is because of their fucking employees.
Yeah, exactly. And
if they didn't have their employees, their company would be shit.
All you really need to do is not. I'm not saying like, okay, yeah, people work minimum wage. That's fine. Minimum wage exists. It's a thing. What I'm saying is, don't treat them like dog shit. Yeah. That's all I'm really asking. Like, I know this sounds very, to Americans, it's like, oh, that sounds very socialistic. Like, oh, you want this, you want that. Like,
no, but just be nice to them.
I don't want
a bit of fucking human compassion.
Yeah, from time to time. I've seen it many a time where people have had real life emergencies. They've had things go on in their life, and
I remember I got chewed out one day over the phone by a bitch of a fucking manager of mine, because I went round to my granddad's house because he got a letter that he had cancer. Yeah. And he had to start chemo, and I was late to a call. I was half an hour late or something, and she came on the phone to me shouting shit down the phone to me. And I said, look, your name, go fuck yourself. My granddad just got cancer. I'll get to the call now, but don't phone me again. Hung up, and she didn't talk to me for about 6 months.
That's ideal. All I'm saying is, managers are dickheads a lot of the time. Now, don't get me wrong, I get it. Managers need to be, like, they're working with dickhead employers can be just as bad as managers. It's a give and take relationship. All I ask from a manager is, if you're a manager, you can't be asking people to do things that you yourself would not be willing to do.
I think once people get into a managerial position, they forget that they too were workers.
Yeah.
They forget because suddenly they're above everybody and they control everything. Yeah. But you also need to remember where you came from, and you had to work there once, and you were probably getting treated like shit. Yeah. So remember that.
Yeah. What it comes down for me is, like, sometimes work, you gotta give and take, Yeah,
and I understand people be like, oh, I'm your boss, I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
I get that whole thing, but
be civil.
You can
be civil.
Still be nice.
Yeah, just be civil with people. Treat people like human beings. That's all I really ask a lot of the time.
I was delivering pizzas part-time, and I didn't know I was scheduled one day. That's the most bullshit thing.
Oh.
See, when they fucking schedule you and don't tell you, and then it's your fault?
Yeah.
It's like, bitch! Nobody fucking told me!
I'll tell you guys a story after this one, so I will.
This was my second job, so I was just sitting at home. They never called me or anything. The next day, they get all passive-aggressive with me, and I'm just unaware, being nice. Then the fat manager chick says, well, do we need to talk about what happened yesterday? I can see the tone. Oh, I thought somebody got in a fight or something. So I ended up questioning her on why she didn't give me a call because I lived 10 minutes away. She was just like, like fuck. She was looking forward to having a little sit down with me about it. But that was a second part-time job for extra money, and I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was working for a company, I think it was 5 years. I was. This is actually one of the reasons why I started YouTube and how it actually really started kicking off was, okay, so I was scheduled to start at 12, but they changed it to 10 because it was like some big order coming in and they needed me to be in. Anyway, no one bothered to tell me about that. So anyway, and you know the thing is, a good few mates were working, so anyway, so I go on in at 12, and they're like, where have you been? It's like, what are you on about? I was in for 12, and it's like, no, we changed it, so to 10. I'm like, why did you not ring me or whatever?
Yeah.
And they just didn't say anything. Anyway, so what they did was they suspended me for a week.
Remember that?
From the job. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to be a bit productive. And I was doing YouTube at the time. I was only making one video a week. So I thought to myself, you know what, why not if I use this week and I make videos the entire week? Let's just see what happens. Like, you know, and the channel was starting to take off at that point, and it was really going places. And I was like, you know, let's do this. And okay, yeah, I didn't make much money, but to do it for just 1 week, it proved that I was I wasn't making as much money as what I would have been, but I still need money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was it was honestly one of the best things they ever could have done, because within 6 months from that, I was then doing it full time. Yeah. Best thing they could have done.
It got to the point where James was making like literally the same as what he was getting paid working, if not £100 more maybe, from YouTube. And you were like, I was in work one day and he phoned me and he went, he had an argument with somebody in work, and I went, James, because he had been hemming and hawing about leaving, and I was very apprehensive on it because we'd just moved into a home together. I was like, what if this doesn't work? What if this, I don't know.
Yeah, it's you know,
but it's so hard to watch someone that you love struggle day to day with their job, and he got to the point where he just couldn't do it anymore. And the only reason why he was still in it was because of me, basically, because I didn't want him to leave, because I was scared. Yeah, and I just turned around to him and said,
if you work for a company for so long, you get very comfortable as well, even if it's killing you inside.
And I just said to him, just look,
let's
leave.
Do this.
We'll do it together. If something happens, I can pick up an extra shift until you find more work or whatever. Just leave. Yeah. And he left, and he's been full time.
and it's worked out.
It worked.
That's why I would really recommend any guys that are working like a job that you are really upset with, you really don't like, start doing something. Honest to God, you do not know if it's going to work out or not, but I would say just try it. Who dares wins, as they say, and you don't know until you try.
Sometimes risks are meant to be taken.
Yeah, you have
Not
to.
all risks. You need to really evaluate.
Is it okay? Am I going to really
pros and
fuck
cons
up
of
if this fails? Am I destitute? Am I going to be homeless?
Yeah.
You know, am I going to go ahead and sell all my worldly belongings for like a really shit dog coin?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The biggest thing is having support around you. I think is
key.
A big factor in being able to take those risks. Because if James had left his work and started YouTube and then it all crumbled, I would have picked up all the hours in the world until he found another job, because that's what you do.
Yeah, and you know the thing is as well, if that hadn't have worked out, I had spent I was 23, 24, and all I'd worked was shitty dead-end jobs, and was out of uni for 2 years, and I had no real experience with anything else. I wasn't that employable. I was only employable within that hospitality
industry.
And they all talk to each other, and you can't just walk out of a job like that. And so I really did fuck myself.
Well,
but
you can't square up and walk out of a job.
Well, you know what? The guy was looking at, and you know, I was very
James is about to throw hands.
No, I'm not even joking. I was actually, and you know the thing is, I actually turned around and was like, I fucking dare you, we cunt. And no, it was I haven't been in a fight as an adult in a very, very long time. Like an actual like physical fight. It's been a long time, but my blood was fucking boiling, and
James was about to throw down.
No, I was, and you
James was about to take flight.
No, I'm telling you, like the chef, he was sitting cutting something, so he wasn't all, and I was like, "What are you gonna do? What the fuck are you gonna do?" You know what I mean? Look, I'm sure you've all been in that situation where your blood just fucking pounds in the back. You know what's worse?
James was in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So I've been in that situation where I've been out front dealing with customers. I've said this before on this channel, you don't know stupidity until you deal with the general public, because holy good fuck, man. Holy good fuck.
People are so fucking thick. It's unreal. I'm very lucky. I've never had to. The only time,
and all you can do is smile and nod. But it's gotten to the stage where I don't smile and nod anymore. Look, my family own this establishment.
Yeah, you're lucky in that situation, I suppose.
And I think I have told a customer to fuck off.
Yeah.
And they've walked out. And I was like, bye.
But, you know, the thing is, your mum would have done the same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's all that really matters, you know what I mean? I think that's where we're going to end this one. But the big keys that I really want to get across to people is, don't let, because it happened to me, do not let your shitty, fucking dead-end, shit-tier job control
your life. We're only on this planet for a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
And
what happens in work, okay, it happens in work. Don't bring it home. Don't think about it when you get home.
And if it does bring it home,
look somewhere else. You have to look somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I would really
even
recommend,
just change it up. Just to change it up, because see, if you're stuck there for years and years and years.
Yo, bro, just wage slave for 50 years, am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right? Yeah, you just gotta do this for the rest of your fucking life.
Even just to change job.
Yeah.
Just to switch it up. And like, yeah, I'm not highly educated in any sense of the word, and neither is James, so without YouTube,
well, I do have a spastic degree, so you know.
But without YouTube, we couldn't get any actually high-paying jobs.
Yeah.
So
also where we are, there's no good jobs. Honestly, you know,
we would have had to go to actually England or something to get it.
I've talked to loads of Americans, and honest to God, you know, the average wage over here is like under 20,000 a year. And American,
it's like average people's wage here is about 12k.
12,000, yeah. Like I would say most people are between 12,000 to about 30. 30 is like a good high-end wage.
30 is unbelievable.
Not many people have that.
Oh no.
But that's just because we may as well be like, yeah, we live in
12K
Eastern Europe.
A year.
We live in Eastern Europe, but it may as well be Eastern Europe.
You'd be lucky. Like a good paying job a month over here is about 1,200 a month.
And
that's before tax.
Yeah. And also I would say, like, you know, for us as well, I'm telling you right now, YouTube, there's really not that much money in YouTube.
No, there's really not.
For us, we're so lucky with the models. It's the models that really do support us.
Yeah,
and
there's not that much money on YouTube, but it's enough, and the support from you guys has been able.
Oh, it's so satisfying as well. And like the thing is, we're able to switch stuff up. We're able to talk about stuff that we're actually interested in. And it's
this has turned into an advice channel now.
I do
feel
like
the relationship video like a couple of days ago, and now this.
Well, I do feel like,
what other life advice do you want from us? Because we are not.
We're not very worldly, though, are we? I don't think we're worldly. But also, as I would say, definitely work on something at the side, something that you're interested in. And if not, honest to God, look into stocks. I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, crypto, oh, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's actually, like, look at the fucking charts. It's been going up and going up and going up, and it hit an all-time high today or yesterday at the time of recording this. And I meet a lot of people that are like, yeah, the problem with Bitcoin is I'm too late now. It's like, well, where are you going to be in the next 10 years?
Yeah.
Where are you going to be the next 20 years? I find it really fascinating. I find it really interesting. It's not for everyone, though. But look, there's a lot more
Yeah,
to
it's
it.
not for fucking everyone. Guys, help me.
No. Okay, so like, what can you do easily to make money? Okay, you can look into stocks. You can look into crypto. If you have a vehicle, go on Facebook. Oh, there's always people looking. Oh, we need this old cooker took into the dump. I'll give anyone 20 quid.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots and lots of
buy
like,
a lawnmower, buy a lawnmower, and buy a couple of garden equipment. Put a couple of £100 into it, and be a gardening service.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
It's not that hard.
There's a lot of things you can do for very cheap.
Yeah.
Window cleaners as well. Like there's there's a lot of like really.
I don't know if Americans have window cleaners.
I don't know if they do, but if you don't have a window cleaner, you should probably fucking look into it because you'll probably make decent money.
See, Americans, I don't know if you have it. But get into it and not grind. Do you want me to bring my ladder and my bucket and I will wash all of your windows?
Yeah, give them a good...
in your house?
Yeah. Well, they definitely have them in office spaces. I've seen them in like movies and stuff.
I don't know if they have them for houses, but we have, well, they're in paramilitaries. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, look, they're ran by paramilitaries. That's why I wouldn't want to do it because same as taxi drivers, you don't want to be.
And everybody fears if the windy cleaners knock your door and you don't have the change, even though it's like £4.50 or something, or £5. It's like if you don't have the change, it's like fuck
shit. But yeah, honestly, guys, the only thing I could really recommend is if you're in a job that you absolutely despise, try and look elsewhere. I know it's hard. I know, at the end of your shift, you're so fucking exhausted. You don't even have the energy to even apply for other places. But you will feel better for doing so. As well, look into any form of ways to also make a bit of extra money and maybe make it something that you can actually enjoy at the same time.
Yeah.
It worked for me, and I'm a fucking retard. So if I can do something, then maybe you can too.
Yeah, and he's roped me in as well.
Yeah, I've got her tied up. Anyway, look, I really want to hear what your guys' thoughts or opinions, any stories from working. And the thing is, it's not like you're going to get doxxed. You're not like posting on Facebook. So on YouTube, you can expose your shitty employers. You know what I mean? Let us know. If we get enough stories, we might do a video talking about them.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we should really talk about? Also, a lot of managers do need their cunt knocked in.
Yeah, they do.
There's some managers out there
but
that
don't
absolutely,
do it,
don't do it because you will get into bother. But I have seriously thought about decking quite a few people in work just for being absolute scumbags. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But anyway, let's leave it.
It's actually angering me even just thinking about them. I'm not even joking.
Look at the links.
It helps us out
models,
no end.
It really does. And thank you guys for so much support, because without you, we wouldn't be able to do this. And we wouldn't be able to... James wouldn't be able to spend all this time with our baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's one of the best things about it.
And he wouldn't be able to witness all of his firsts with me.
Yeah.
And... that's all down to you guys. So thank you. Check out the links, check out the models, subclasses, all that good shit. Hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we post a video. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.